the Travel Nurse YouTube channel. My name is ACCOMMODATION. As I always say, this channel is dedicated to all internationally trained nurses who want to work overseas as professionals. So if you want to work in countries as the United Kingdom, the Republic of Ireland, Canada, the US of A, New Zealand, and Australia, then this channel is for you. From the previous videos, we started with the nurses recruitment process to the United Kingdom. Then somewhere along the line, we began with that of the Republic of Ireland. In my previous video, we looked at how to live and work as a midwife, a nurse prescriber, a nurse tutor, public health nurse, and in the Republic of Ireland. Today we are going to look into details the registration process for the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Ireland. That is what we are going to look into. So look at it in entirety. We'll look at the requirements, we'll look at the documents that are involved, and we're going to look at the cost involved. We're going to look at the duration involved as well, and we're going to look at the possible outcomes or possible feedback that you would get from the application. We'll also look at the type of application depending on the country that you are applying for. So as I always say, kindly subscribe if not done so. If this is your first time watching us, thank you very much. If this is not the first time and you've been with us since day one, I want to thank you very much for the support. Kindly like all the videos, share with other colleagues so they will also benefit. So do not go anywhere, stay with me, we'll be right back. All right, welcome. So the Nmbi registration, that is the Nurse and Midwifery Board of Ireland registration, consists of two main stages. Okay, it comes in two stages. So we have one, the qualification recognition, and the second one is the registration itself. Okay, so the qualification recognition, this is just the comparison of the documents that you present to them with the Irish Education Board. So they have to look at whatever you present and compare it to the Irish standard. So that is the qualification recognition. And after you pass this stage successfully, then you do the registration. So we are going to look at all the two stages in a bit. So we would quickly start with the qualification recognition. So of course, as I indicated in the previous video, before you begin with this registration or before you dream of working in the Republic of Ireland, then you have to be a registered nurse, practicing as well in your home country. So nations are now changing ways of doing things. Technology is making a great impact. So now the Republic of Ireland has also joined in with the online application. Initially there were a lot of paperwork here and there, sending them through FedEx, DHL, and the likes. So with the registration, you log on to the Nmbi website. Then you create an account as a new registrant. So you have to create an account, and I will show a template of how the registration forms look like. It's very easy. You can do it on your phone. You don't necessarily need a computer or a desktop, a laptop or something like that to do it. So after logging in to the Nmbi website or portal, then you create an account. With this account, you first have to fill in your personal details. So your personal details include your name or names. If there are any changes in your name, you have to indicate that, and your address, home address, where you stay or where you live, your nationality, where your place of birth, your date of birth, and your telephone number or your contact details, which you also have to provide an email address as well. So this is the medium of communication between you and the Nursing Board of Ireland. Okay, so you have to give a valid email address. So after the initial stage, you'll be sent a verification link on your email. Then you have to go and verify the address for you to continue with the registration. So after the personal details, then now you go to the classification. So with the NMBI registration, it comes in various classes. We have the G1, G2, and G3. We're going to talk about the G3. And G1 basically means those who are, citizens of Ireland, or those who schooled in Ireland or have practiced in Ireland before. So use the G1. G2 means if you have a family member who is in Ireland, okay, a dependent or someone who has sought for asylum in Ireland and is currently in Ireland, or you've practiced or trained in an EU country. Okay, so this video is specifically made for those who are trained outside the Ireland. Okay, so overseas nurses. So we are going to the class 3 or G3. Okay, so this is where you qualify, because you qualify as a registered nurse outside the Republic of Ireland. So the series of questions that will be asked whether you have you possess an European card, whether you have a family member there, and those things. So the answer you provide will show the classification or the pathway your registration will follow. So usually for overseas nurses, we choose or we go by the G3 pathway. Then after that, you now upload a list of documents that is needed by Nmbi. Okay, so the document includes, of course, your passport, traveling passport. You have to have, the validity should exceed 6 months. Yeah, preferably if you have even 2 years or 1 year, it's good. Okay, so you have to get a passport, then you get a school certificate. Okay, so with the G3 qualification, as I said, you have to be a registered nurse outside the Republic of Ireland, and also you have to be in active practice for at least 12 months within the past 5 years. Okay, so if you are qualified for a long time in your home country and you are not practicing, you might not be eligible. Okay, so you might have been practicing in your home country for at least in the past 12 months within the past 5 years. And also you should have gone through a nursing education or training minimum of 3 years. So in countries where there's a qualification of 3 years, you become a diploma nurse or midwife, you qualify. 4 years or BSc degree in nursing, you qualify. But they don't accept enrolled nurses, they don't accept licensed practical nurses, they don't accept nursing aides, they don't accept nurses with associate degrees. Okay, so if you have all these things that I've listed, then it means you will have to go through a postgraduate program before you could be eligible for the Ireland registration. So this is it for the G3. Then the documents I mentioned, you should have your passport, school set, you should have your certificate of practice in your home country, that is the NMC certificate. You should have your proof of professional experience. with this proof of professional experience, there is a form on the Nmbi app that you download, or portal that you download. Will take you to your current place of work, where your nurse in charge or your superiors have to fill in, then upload it on the portal. You also need qualification from your training, for your training. So a qualification form where you take it to your training institution for the head of the institution to fill it out and also ascertain that you were indeed trained in that institution. Then also you'll be needing your transcripts. Yes, there is a form for that you need to download. Okay, so spelling out in detail the syllabus, try to match your contact hours both in classroom and on the clinical field to that of the Irish standard. So all these things are needed. You would also need a clearance of good conduct. So in some countries you'll be needing a police report, or where what we call the DBS check. So you'll be needing that as well. So you have to upload all these documents on the portal. Okay, and please, if you are from a country that your tuition or your training or your practice wasn't in English, let's say French or any other language or Swahili, then obviously you will need to translate all your documents you have to get it translated by a qualified translator into the English language and upload it on the portal. That is also accepted. So after this, you review your personal information, the one you provided, to ensure that everything is correct or accurate, because they hate forgeries. If you tamper with your documents and this kind of stuff, is it amounts to fraud, and you could be banned from future registration. So you have to make sure everything is genuine. Go through them before you declare and pay the assessment or the recognition fee. The recognition or the assessment fee is 350 euros. 350 euros. This is the money that you pay, and now you wait for Nmbi to review your application. They will contact your school, they will contact your place of work, they will contact their local regulatory body in your country. So you have to do that. If you are from Ghana, you have to do the clearance, both from MOH and the Ministry of Health. If you are from Nigeria, you go to Nursing Council, you do the clearance, where you pay the 17,000 naira. From Zimbabwe and other countries alike, that is what you have to do. You have to do the clearance, because Nmbi is going to contact them. And now, upon your review, I might be frank with you, the registration process for Ireland needs a lot of patience. Okay, because the review alone can take you as long as 90 days or 3 months. But this depends on how fast you upload your documents and how genuine your documents are. Okay, so you have to make sure you do everything on time, but it can take as long as 3 months for you to get a decision. Yeah, so after the staff of the Nmbi have gone through your application, this is the result you get. You may receive this result in your email. The first one, as I said, being professionally recognized. The assessment is provisionally recognized, or the need for a compensation measure. Okay, a compensation measure, or your application has been refused. When your application is refused, you have 56 days to appeal for it. Okay, they may also ask for further documentation or documents, or there is a missing document that you need to provide. And with this, you have up to 6 months to produce the missing document or the further particulars that is being needed. Most of applicants, especially from overseas, or G3 pathway receive the qualification for compensation measure. And this compensation measure consists of two things. It means there is an additional assessment that needs to be either clinical or otherwise that needs to be done or carried out on you for you to finalize your registration. So when you get a letter, a decision letter indicating that there is a need for compensation measure, this is the time you need to speed up with your job application or job search and try as much as you can to get or secure a job or get an agency which is recruiting for the Republic of Ireland. Okay, so the compensation measure consists of two things, as I said. One, you either sit for an aptitude test, or two, go through a period, an adaptation process. So with the adaptation, this is just like a placement, a clinical placement where you'll be placed in an Irish health facility or a health facility in Ireland. Usually there is a list of accepted facilities on the Nmbi website. You can go through them with the help of an agency. You could secure a placement. So with this, it usually lasts for 6 months, where you will be given a supervisor or preceptor who will be assessing you, your clinical skills. They have various areas that will be assessed for 6 months. And if after 6 months they are satisfied, you go ahead with the registration. If after 6 months there are areas that they think you need more practice or more assessment, it can stretch to a period of 12 months, but usually it's within 6 months. So with this, if you are a general nurse, you could either do the adaptation or the aptitude test. But if you are a midwife, a psychiatric nurse, public health nurse, nurse tutor, nurse prescriber, no aptitude test. You only do the adaptation. Okay. The second one is the aptitude test. So when you are to do the aptitude test, this comes in also two forms. It comes in theory. There's theory aspects and a practical. So the theory is the MCQs, just like the CBT written in the UK, and the practical is just like the OSCE. It's a form of OSCE that you do. So with this, even without you getting a recruiter or a job placement and you want to take the aptitude test, you can fly in to Ireland, book your own hotel and take this test. But trust me, it's very expensive because it is around 2,500 euros. So you don't want to waste that much. So you rather seek for an employer who will fly you in, train you, and make sure you sit for this exam once and for all and you pass. If you are fortunate, you can bargain with your employer, then just do the aptitude, the adaptation, and that is it. So it is after this that we go on with the final registration. So this is the first part, that is the qualification recognition. Now, so after you've gone through your recognition process or qualification recognition, you've had your decision letter. So let's assume you've got your job offer, you've done your the aptitude test, or you've either gone through your period of adaptation for 6 weeks and you are successful. Now you go ahead with the registration. So you go back to the Nmbi portal and again log in. Then here with the registration process, the first thing you do after logging is you answer questions pertaining to the English language proficiency. Please, if you don't have the required band score or the required English assessment results, do not begin the Nmbi application. because when you begin with the qualification recognition and we get to this point without the required English test for English test results, your application will be turned down, and the 350 euros you paid for the assessment is not refundable. You have to get it right and get it straight. So this is the second part. After the aptitude test or after the adaptation period, now you move on to with the registration. You log on to the Nmbi website. So these are some of the questions you will be asked pertaining to the English language. So you'll be asked if you were trained or you had your training minimum 3 years in the English language medium. The answer is yes. If you answer yes, now they will ask you which country. They have specific countries that are recognized by the Republic of Ireland. So it isn't all countries, please. So to cut a long story short, if you were trained in Africa, any part of Africa, you do not qualify. If you were trained in some part of Europe, there is an exception. So these are the countries that when you are fortunate to have schooled in or had training in or practiced as a nurse in for the past 3 years in English language, then you are safe. There's no need for any IELTS, no IELTS, no OET. Okay, so if you were trained in the UK, you were trained in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, then you qualify. But aside these countries that I've mentioned, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, the US of A, or the UK, all other countries you need to prove, you need a proof of English language. So basically that is it. Then from there, you will now upload the test results you have. So if you have IELTS, this is the required band score for the Republic of Ireland. Sorry. They want an overall score of 7, band 7, with 6.5 in any of the components. So unlike the United Kingdom where band 7 is required, with the exception of writing, where writing, if you have 6.5 and above, you qualify. Republic of Ireland is different. They are saying you can either have 6.5 in reading, in writing, in speaking, or in listening. But it should be only one. The rest should be 7.0 or above. If you have this, you qualify. So you upload it on the portal. Then there is a list of documentation or documents that is needed. So your passport again, then the proof of practice, where the form that you send to your employer, your current employer, to fill in. You upload it on the portal. Then there is a declaration document that you need to upload. So this document, shows your intention of you working in the Republic of Ireland for this number of years with this hospital or with this institution through this agency. So if you have by then you would have had an agency you are working with or a recruiter. So the recruiter will take you through all these things and you fill the declaration form. You submit it, review your personal details, then pay the registration fee of 145 euros. The registration fee is 145 euros. The assessment fee was 350 euros. So this is what you pay for you to get your PIN, and you can safely practice in the Republic of Ireland. So with this, you wait for a decision, they'll review it again, then they'll give you a provisional, registration, or your registration can be refused. And as I said, when it is refused, you can appeal for it. But usually, if you get to this stage, you'll go through. And one thing I said in the previous video was that with Republic of Ireland, the qualification you are bringing in from your home country counts. Unlike the UK, where everyone is started on a uniform scale, this isn't. Okay, so you can either start at a band or level 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you practice for 5 years, you are starting level 5. Practice for 6 years in your home country, start level 6, 7, that way. And you see the difference in the salary as well. So basically, this is all I have on the Nmbi registration process. It is quite easy, quite simple, but you need to wait. The time you wait for your decision might differ from other countries. With the decision alone, it can take up to 3 months. Even with the registration, the second part, it can take 20 working days. So in all, we are looking at around the region of 4 months or 120 days. Okay, we are looking at the region of 4 months. So I will advise you do your things early. You gather all the documents that are needed. I've already indicated and listed all the documents that you need. So make sure you have them before you begin your application, and this will help speed up things. People that you need to take your document to for them to fill in, you have to talk to them beforehand so that your things will move faster for you. So that is it. If you have any questions or any further inquiries you want to make about the Nmbi registration, you can hit us via the comment box, and we shall respond accordingly. Thank you very much for your time. Do not forget to share, to like, to subscribe to the channel, and also direct others to also watch the videos. Thank you very much. God bless you.